On this edition of Kababayan Today, Jose Rizal's descendant, former mayor of Daly City Mike Guingona, shares his passion to serve his community. Plus, Greg Harrelson, motivational real estate speaker, shares what these men have in common. That's all next on Kababayan Today. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa pagtutok nyo sa aming programa dito sa Kababayan Today. Ngayong araw na ito, makakasama natin ang isang Filipino-American na nagdesisyon na tumulong sa kanyang komunidad bilang kanilang mayor. Proud po ako na pareho kaming bunga ng University of California, Los Angeles o UCLA. He pursued a history degree and continued to get his law degree at the University of San Francisco Law School. Let's welcome the first Filipino-American to be elected in Daly City, as well as the youngest elected official in the Bay Area. Isang Pinoy that we can all be proud of, Mr. Mayor Mike Guingona. Hello!
Hey, how are you?
Kamusta?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for joining us. Is this your first time here on Kababayan Today?
It actually is. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Wow, your first time!
Yeah, I was here on vacation, and you know, my wife and you are good friends.
That's right. The stars have aligned.
Yes, they have.
Okay, so tell me, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Daly City. You might have heard of it. It's a place up north near San Francisco. A
Yeah.
lot of Filipinos.
You know what I heard about Daly City is
What?
they say that early in the morning, there's fog all over because of all the rice cookers that they're cooking.
That's actually true, but it burns off around noon. But
Okay.
then it comes back at 5 o'clock when people come home.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a joke that I heard about in Daly City.
It's true.
Okay, so you grew up born and raised in Daly City.
Born in San Francisco, raised in Daly City. My mom came here in 1948 with her sisters and her mother in San Francisco. And
I've actually met your mommy.
yes, you have.
Yes.
She's still around.
So, Pilipina ang nanay mo?
Yes.
And ang tatay mo?
Yes, also Filipino.
Also Filipino. And they met here in America?
Yes, they met in the Philippines, but also here, and I think they got married in Spain and had a great time there.
Wow.
Whirlwind life.
Well, I have a bit of trivia for all of you, and this is really, really cool. You're related to our national hero, Jose Rizal. That is so cool.
It's an interesting story. You know, my great-great-grandfather, Galicano Apacible, and then they called each other primo, and they actually studied together in Spain. And if you read my great-grandfather's book, they're very, very close.
Yes, and the name of the book is called To the American People an Appeal.
Yes.
So it was basically, he was from Batangas.
Yes.
He was also in office in Batangas from 1909 to 1916.
Very early, yes.
Yeah,
my grandmother spoke very highly of him, so it was a very high standard to
So
reach.
he was Batangueño.
Yes, he was.
Ala marunong ka ba magano?
A little bit. You know, actually, everybody that in my family learns how to play with a butterfly knife from a very young age.
Yes,
So
the
Yes,
balisong.
we all know how to use those.
Okay. All right. So you grew up all your life in America, but how many times have you been back to the Philippines?
Oh, my God. I've been back many, many times. In fact, in 2006, I would think I went back about 6 or 7 times, and that's how I met my wife, Jackie.
Yes. You married a tennis player.
Yes. Finally, I married someone that was athletic and had a really great discipline to her. And yeah, we get along very, very well.
Mike, we also know that you have a son by the name of Kai.
Yes.
And you're his biggest cheerleader because I see your photos together and you're very, very proud of what he does.
know.
What kind of pressure, being a Filipino-American dad, do you give your son? Because I know Filipino dads are very strict.
Yeah, well, you know, he gets the same kind of pressure that I got when I was growing up from my mother, and that was this expectation that you'd reach a certain level, academically, athletically, or whatever, and you know, if you were going to do something, that you were going to put all of your effort into it. And the same kind of expectation that she set for me, I'm trying to set for my son. It might be a little harsh at times, but you know, I think it's going to be good for him in the long run.
He's into wrestling, isn't he?
A little bit wrestling and judo, and those are the things that he's competed at a national and state level. So.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So what about you? What sports are you into?
Those the same. You know, interestingly enough, the same ones that he's good at: judo and wrestling, which I coach in, and I just like everything that's about the outdoors. I like all ball sports, everything, and growing up, that's what we did. We just played sports all day.
Okay, so tell me about your memories of the Philippines.
My memories of the Philippines are, my mother and father both live there now, and they've lived there for many years.
So they're retired in the Philippines now?
My father worked for Meralco for many years. I just retired a few years ago. My mother, you know, after her second husband died, stayed in the Philippines, and she lives in Green Hills somewhere. But yeah, so my memories are of growing up with my second cousins and meeting them and going to Bel Air and hanging out and going to places like Where Else and all the different. I've just aged myself. And,
no, that's okay, because I used to go to Where Else too.
You know, it's funny that I see Louis Y. And
Louis Y is the grandfather of the nightlife scene.
See, but when I met him, he wasn't even the father yet. He was still just in the nightlife scene, right? So you have to explain to them how many years this goes back. So.
Right. No, what's great about the Philippines is when you talk about a certain time, you know, these places are the iconic places. Oh yeah, I remember seeing you there.
And you can tell by what the giraffe. Oh, I remember what year that was.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
V-Bar. You know where you were going, the different places, and you know, my wife teases me because she says, you know, Mike, none of those things are in anymore. It's like, well, I'm not. No, I don't know what the nice places are anymore.
Well, neither do I, because, you know, life changes, we have children, and we stop doing that stuff. But there are still fond memories of the past.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when we come back on the show, we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
And that game's going to be, how Filipino are you?
Oh, no.
So I'll have questions for you.
Fail.
I'll have questions for you. And we'll also talk about being mayor of Daly City, the pressures that's involved with that, okay? All right, we'll be back right here on Kababayan Today.